You are the child of a Kryptonian and a Viltrumite. One parent's power comes from a yellow sun, the other parent's power comes from nothing. No source, no fuel, no dependency, just biology, engineered to be a weapon from birth. Nobody designed a body to run on both of those systems simultaneously, and yet here you are. Let's actually break this down properly. Your Kryptonian parent's power is not innate in the way most people assume. On Krypton, under a red sun, a Kryptonian is roughly as strong as a human. Their entire power set is solar. Kryptonian cells function like biological batteries, and under a yellow sun's radiation, those cells absorb energy at a rate their bodies were never built to spend. That stored solar energy is what gets converted into superhuman strength, flight, and vulnerability, heat vision, freeze breath, super speed. All of it is downstream of one input: sunlight in, power out. The longer a Kryptonian sits under a yellow sun, the more charged they become. This is why Kryptonians are often portrayed as getting stronger the longer a fight drags on in daylight. They're not warming up emotionally, they are quite literally still charging. But this also means the power has a dependency built into the architecture. Take the sun away, red sun, dying sun, deep space, a solar suppressing field, and the power drains. Not instantly, but it drains. A Kryptonian cut off from a yellow sun for long enough eventually reverts toward baseline. The strength was never truly theirs, it was borrowed from a star, and stars can stop lending. Now your Viltrumite parent, completely different mechanism, no source, no dependency, no conversion process at all. A Viltrumite's power is not stored, it's structural. Thousands of years of engineered warfare produced a species whose baseline cellular density, muscle efficiency, and bone structure are already operating at a level most beings in the universe cannot reach even at full output. There is no sun to sit under, there is no charge-up sequence. A Viltrumite dropped into a pitch-black room with zero light sources is exactly as strong the moment they wake up as they were the day before. The power isn't fueled, it's just what the body is. And Viltrumites don't just survive damage, they adapt to it. Every serious injury a Viltrumite recovers from leaves the body denser and more resistant than before. This is slow, compounding, and permanent. It's why the oldest Viltrumites in this universe are dramatically stronger than the young ones, despite no training montage, no special event, nothing but time and survival. The body keeps score of every near-death experience and adjusts the baseline upward permanently with no known ceiling ever established. So you've got one parent whose power depends entirely on an external resource, and one parent whose power requires nothing but existing. Two completely incompatible operating philosophies, both handed to you at conception. If this is landing so far, go ahead and hit like and subscribe so we can keep making videos like this. Anyway, back to it. Here's what your actual biology looks like. From your Viltrumite parent, you inherit a floor, a real one. Zero activation energy required. No sun, no trigger, no external condition. At rest, in total darkness, having never seen a yellow star in your life, your baseline strength, speed, and durability already exceed what most beings across either universe can produce at their absolute peak. This is the part of you that cannot be taken away because nothing had to be given in the first place. From your Kryptonian parent, you inherit a multiplier system that activates conditionally, and this is where things stop being simple. Put you under a yellow sun and your cells begin doing what Kryptonian cells do, absorbing and converting solar radiation into stored output. Except you're not converting that energy into a human baseline body. You're converting it into a body that was already operating at Viltrumite levels before a single photon hit you. The solar multiplier isn't applying to a fragile starting point, it's applying to a foundation that was already close to unstoppable. This creates a genuinely strange stacking problem. A regular Kryptonian under a yellow sun goes from human baseline to superhuman. That's the entire value of the solar conversion. It's the difference between the floor and the ceiling. But your floor is already superhuman before the sun touches you. So what does solar charging actually produce when it's layered on top of a Viltrumite physiology instead of human physiology? Neither universe has ever had to answer that question because no one has ever had a starting point that high walking into a solar recharge. Here's where it compounds further. Your Viltrumite side doesn't just give you a high floor, it gives you a body that adapts to damage and comes back stronger every time you survive something serious. That process doesn't pause because you're also part Kryptonian. It runs constantly in the background, independent of sunlight. Meanwhile, your Kryptonian side is simultaneously charging off solar exposure whenever it's available. These are two completely different power sources, one triggered by injury, one triggered by light, running on two different timelines, feeding the same body, which means theoretically a version of you that has survived serious combat and spent extended time under a yellow sun isn't just stacking two separate power boosts, you're stacking a permanent structural upgrade on top of a temporary solar charge, on top of a baseline that was already engineered to be a weapon before either bonus applied. Nobody formulated what that number becomes because no writer in either universe ever built a character who needed one. And the redundancy doesn't stop at strength. Kryptonian invulnerability comes from dense solar-charged cellular structure resisting physical trauma. Viltrumite durability comes from dense adaptive cellular structure resisting physical trauma. These are two different explanations for functionally the same outcome, both loaded into your body at once. It's not clear whether they stack additively, whether one dominates the other, or whether your cells even distinguish between the two signals. Nobody has ever had to write rules for a body defending itself through two independent invulnerability systems simultaneously. There's also the dependency question, and this might be the most interesting part. A pure Kryptonian loses power under a red sun. Does a hybrid like you lose power the same way? Realistically, no, not fully, because your Viltrumite floor was never dependent on solar input in the first place. Take away the yellow sun and you don't revert to human baseline the way a full Kryptonian would. You revert to Viltrumite baseline, which is still far beyond what almost anything in either universe can produce. The single greatest weakness of one entire bloodline is structurally canceled out by the other. A red sun doesn't neutralize you. It just turns off one of your two power systems and leaves the other one fully intact. That is not a small detail. That is the difference between a character with a known weakness and a character whose known weakness only removes half of what makes them dangerous. Both of these bloodlines individually have a track record of producing hybrids that outperform expectations. Kryptonian human hybrids have repeatedly demonstrated access to the full range of Kryptonian abilities, despite diluted blood. Viltrumite hybrids have repeatedly performed at near full blood levels despite mixed parentage, because Viltrumite genetics are some of the most dominant ever documented. They don't split evenly with another species, they overwrite it. There is no precedent in either universe for these two specific bloodlines colliding, but there is a consistent precedent for both of them refusing to dilute. You start with a floor that most full-grown warriors in either universe would call a ceiling. You carry a second system on top of it that, under the right conditions, might not even have a known limit. Nobody planned for what happens when an unbreakable foundation is handed an external power source it was never designed to need in the first place. Nobody built the rules for you. You're the edge case both universes forgot to write.